What is going on, Ada Nation? Welcome back to the Dapp Central YouTube channel where we cover all of the latest news surrounding Cardano. My name is Fareed, and today we're going to be doing just that, touching on some updates surrounding the World Mobile project and their upcoming community Twitter space, as well as their recently launched World Mobile token buyback program, and highlighting some of the benefits of this brand new initiative. After that, we're going to jump into some updates surrounding Genius Yield and their testnet, as well as an NFT utility dashboard, which can now show us the length remaining for the NFTs that you can then use to actually stake on the Genius platform. Third, we're going to jump into some updates surrounding the Ape Society, which continues to build in the Cardano ecosystem, launching the Levvy finance platform, as well as their Sauna, which is going to be a custom node for Cardano transactions. Last but not least, we're going to jump into a little bit of drama, which has been going on here on the network, which is going to be surrounding the Chilled Kongs NFT project and their brand new roadmap, which was just released to their community. As always, if it's your first time stopping by the channel, my goal here is to provide you guys in the community with the latest news, tutorials, and reviews for all the top builders in the Cardano ecosystem. I'm also a single stake pool operator operating the official Dapp Central stake pool. And if you'd like to support me on my mission to educate the broader Cardano community, then consider delegating with the stake pool. Jumping into the very first topic here for today's video, I want to touch on the World Mobile project. Now, I do have a fully dedicated playlist covering all of the biggest news surrounding World Mobile, but if you're not aware or if you're not up to date as to what World Mobile is doing, they're going to be building a sharing economy aiming to connect the unconnected through a World Mobile network. Now, once per month, this team, at least since the month of January, has been hosting what they call their community update Twitter spaces, in which we hear from the biggest names, including their CEO, Mickey Watkins, who I've had the pleasure of having here on this channel. So make sure to tune in. But on the 29th of June on this month at 1900 UTC, we can expect to get some major updates surrounding the World Mobile team. Now, if you guys for some reason do miss this, I'll be on the Twitter space myself, and I'll go ahead and do my best to record it, as well as provide you guys with a brief summary once it actually wraps up. But it reads here, this Thursday, join our monthly community update, where the World Mobile team leadership will be delivering key updates on the various projects we've been working on, while also answering community questions. And so I think that is going to be it there for that particular update. But again, make sure to tune in, and they do a really good job of not only answering the community's questions, but giving us a broader look as to what we can expect here for the World Mobile team. Now, this team has done an amazing job recently releasing, I believe, an additional 60 air nodes, bringing their total air nodes deployed within Zanzibar to anywhere around 390. So we are expecting to break above that 400 air node threshold being deployed. And if I recall correctly, we had about 325 or so of these air nodes coming into the month of January. So this team steadily increasing the total amount of air nodes being deployed. And we're also expecting for them to begin rolling out in Pakistan as well as the United States. So you can imagine that this particular update coming up here on this Twitter space will be full packed of information surrounding all their expansions and all of their latest news. Jumping into the next tab here, we've got a little bit of information surrounding a brand new World Mobile token buyback program launched by this team. Now, what I want to do is briefly touch on some of the benefits from this initial buyback, and then I want to jump into the actual number of tokens which have been already bought back from this team. Now, this is going to be a monthly thing moving forward, and again, I'll do my best here to provide you guys with the latest when it comes to the total amounts of the WMT token that has been purchased back from the market, again, to broaden and bring more utility to the WMT token. So it states here, in terms of the actual benefits of the WMT buyback program, this program will play a crucial role in enhancing the World Mobile sharing economy by accumulating rewards for Earth node operators, or ENOs, and World Mobile token stakers as they contribute to the development and advancement of the World Mobile network solution. So that's going to be the first bit of utility there for this buyback program, is that as they're purchasing these tokens from the open market, they're going to be redistributing them back to ENOs and World Mobile token stakers. Now, number two, in terms of utility, is that this is going to be critical in the sense that these buybacks will be executed through a robust economic loop that leverages the network user growth and revenue expansion, which is then reinvested back into the world mobile sharing economy. So benefit number one is that, again, this is going to be going back to ENOs and stakers. And then benefit number two is that this is going to help provide stability and sustainability. And it's also going to create a little bit of incentive for anybody who may not be a part of the WMT community to actually come in here and begin to leverage some of these rewards being distributed back from the team. Now, last but not least, World Mobile has recently launched in Pakistan, which I mentioned earlier, and they've also completed field tests across Africa, and they're now planning to launch their operations in the United States. As they expand their services across the world, the value and the frequency of the token buybacks will only increase. The expansion will be fueled by the revenue generated from customer onboarding. So as the actual network grows, we're going to see more of the tokens being bought back, therefore, again, creating and contributing to that feedback loop, therefore incentivizing more people to jump onto the network and potentially stake or become ENOs, therefore growing the network, therefore expanding the buyback program. And then the additional tokens bought back from that are then reinvested back into the platform. So I really like what the WMT team is doing here. And this is one of my favorite projects, especially given the fact that they have just been so transparent and they've just made so much progress, which is completely visible here to the public. If you guys are not already familiar with WMT Scan, I recommend you guys go ahead and check that out. But they've got all of the stats, not only surrounding how many air nodes are deployed, but also surrounding the actual usage, as well as some of the revenue from the top air nodes, which are basically feeding and running the network. So the very last thing that I wanted to touch on here for today is going to be surrounding the actual total amount. And so once per month, they're now going to be providing some updates here as a part of the buyback brief. Now, I take that back, actually, it's going to be once per week. Now, what we have right now is on the 26th of June of 2023, their latest buyback purchase was a total of about 10,000 of the WMT tokens, bringing their total buyback balance to 46,000. Now, I believe given the current price of WMT, which it is trading at a low right now, that 10,000 of the WMT tokens is anywhere between $1,000 to $1,500, which again, right now, it may not seem like a lot, but as the value of the WMT token increases, then you could also imagine that the actual value of the buybacks will also do the same. So that will take us through the very first update here for today's Cardano Scoop. If you guys are enjoying this video so far, I would really appreciate it if you guys could tap that like button. If it's your first time stopping by the channel and you want more content like this covering Cardano, consider subscribing. And if you have any questions for me surrounding anything that we're going to be breaking down as a part of today's video, then please make sure to go ahead and leave a comment down below. The second story, or the second topic I want to jump into, is going to be surrounding Genius Yield. Now, this is going to be a highly anticipated DEX that's also going to be building on Cardano. And what we now have is going to be the official release of the Genius Yield NFT dashboard. So it states here you can head over to their official website, which we're going to check out here in just a minute, and enter the asset ID of any of the Genius NFTs to check the available time remaining on the NFT. Now, what they've done is they basically have created a few of their NFTs, which give you an additional bonus when it comes to staking the GENS tokens on their platform. And initially, they were all set to last for 12 months. Now, you could imagine that as you begin to use your NFT, you'll want to make sure as to how much time is left. And then if you're potentially picking up an asset off of a secondary marketplace, that you may not know how much time is also left on that given asset. So this new feature is now going to allow us to actually check the actual amount of time remaining on a given NFT. So let's quickly walk through this together. And I've already pulled up here a tab, which is going to be for the Genius NFTs, and I filtered to a specific subset. So again, you can either come and get the asset ID from jpeg.store, or if you open up your Nami wallet, you can go ahead and open up the NFT where you'll see the asset ID, or you can also jump over to a platform like PoolPM where you can also quickly manage or grab your asset ID. If we open this up, we've got the policy ID listed here, and then we've got the asset ID listed to the right of that. So I'm going to copy the asset ID, And if we jump over to their official app, which is available at app.geniusyield.co/earn, we can now have the ability to not only stake or put up our tokens in a vault, but we can also begin yield farming, I think, very, very soon. And then we now have the third ability, which is now live, which is to check NFT's remaining utility. So I'm going to connect my wallet. And as soon as I do that, I now have the ability up here to go ahead and actually plug in my asset ID. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And if I click on check, as you guys can now see, I can confirm exactly how much time is left for that given asset. So a pretty nice quality of life feature here. And this is exactly what we like to see, right? Slow and steady updates from builders here on the Cardano community. Now, they did recently also announce that their testnet would be launching on August 15th. And I've got to give a little bit of credit here to Clover Nodes for actually catching this comment. The Genius team did release an article breaking down the fact that they would be postponing their testnet launch into the August timeline, but they hadn't given us a specific date. But recently, we did see them actually post on Twitter that they are expecting to launch their testnet on August 15th. So stay tuned for that. And as always, as we actually get the rollout of their testnet, I'll definitely make sure to have a fully dedicated testnet guide breaking everything down. Now, I do want to also take a minute here to talk about their sister project, which is going to be the Genius X project, which is going to be launching their token sale on Cardano as well as Arbitrum. I just had a extremely informative interview this morning with Jason Gao from the Genius X team, breaking down the bits of utility for the Gens X token, as well as their recent expansion into the Polygon and Arbitrum networks. Now, if you're trying to participate in the sale, you can go ahead and sign up using the Cardano Launchpad, but you can also access the sale by using the Red Kite and RBPad platforms on the Arbitrum networks. Now, the team will be building their own native application on Arbitrum as well as Polygon, and we're expecting the platform for Polygon to come a little bit later than the one that will be coming for Arbitrum. We are expecting the one for Arbitrum to be launching, I believe, within the next 3 days or the next 72 hours. So stay tuned for that, as that's quite a huge update. And then they've also made a partnership with the Chainport Bridge, allowing for them to easily move their tokens over from Cardano over into the Arbitrum ecosystem. So that is going to wrap it up there for that particular update. Next, we are going to jump into some updates surrounding the Ape Society. Now, this is a project that I don't always cover here on this channel, but I wanted to take a little bit of time today to talk about Levvy. Now, Levvy is going to be a DeFi platform allowing you to unlock the liquidity that your NFTs hold. And for those of you who are familiar with a platform like Lending Pond or Fluid Tokens, this is going to be very similar. Now, I'm going to go ahead and release a dedicated video focusing on what actually is possible using Levvy. But in a nutshell, the Ape Society team will be able to pick which collections are supported. The APR will also be fixed, and so will the time for the NFTs, or the loan, I should say, for the NFTs. On platforms like Fluid Tokens, the user who is putting up their assets for lending so that other people can actually borrow their assets or their liquidity, they get to pick all of the terms surrounding the loan. Now, what this does is it creates a wide opportunity range, but with the fact that the Ape Society team is going to be somewhat setting a standard for some of these features, it's really going to be forcing for the top loans to be taken out by lenders, or by borrowers who are looking to tap into the value of their NFTs. So if you're wondering very simply, what can you do with this? Let's say that you hold 5 or 6 valuable NFTs that you don't necessarily want to sell right away. You could potentially go ahead and put those up on a platform like Levvy. And what you can do is you can actually borrow liquidity And then you can then take that liquidity, go ahead and invest that into something else that you believe will appreciate in price if you're long on that particular asset. Once that play works out, you can then take the initial amount that you loaned, or that you borrowed, excuse me, and actually pay back your loan, therefore unlocking your NFT. Keep in mind that just like on Fluid tokens or on some of these other platforms, if you do fail to meet your loan terms, that the person that you actually borrowed the liquidity from will have the option or the ability to liquidate that asset, therefore keeping that asset. And so keep that in mind. There is a little bit of risk here, but if you're looking to take advantage of the bear market and potentially tap into the liquidity that your NFTs hold, then a platform like Levvy could be of use to you. So again, make sure to go ahead and follow these guys on Twitter. They recently launched. And what I wanted to highlight is that within the first 24 hours, they now have more than 1 million ADA in terms of TVL. So people really are adopting this platform, and it seems like they're off to a really great start. Again, providing very competitive offers for people who are looking to borrow against their NFT. Now, if you're a lender putting up your liquidity, not only can you potentially pick up an NFT at a much cheaper price than it might be trading for in terms of a floor price, but you can also get a nice APR, or you can earn some nice interest by providing liquidity. Again, these are going to be some of the fixed values provided by the Ape Society team that every lender has to abide by, therefore making sure that only the top loans or the most competitive loans are actually put forward. So let's quickly head over to the Levvy website, which is available at levvy.fi. And you can either start by lending or you can start by borrowing. So let me click on borrow. Let's just see maybe what offers are currently available. But as you guys can see here, we have the Ape Society, Clay Nation, Space Buds, the Cabins by the Ape Society, and a few other top projects that are very recognizable here within the community. Now we have the duration of the loan. We've got the current amount of pooled ADA, as well as the highest offer, which by default is what's available to whoever is looking to borrow. So for example, if you hold an Ape Society NFT, you could quickly tap into 5.51K ADA, or about 5,500 ADA, directly from the Levvy platform, and you'd pay an interest of about 4.21% with a loan duration of 14 days. Now, keep in mind that the floor price for these NFTs is about 6,100. So you are going to be borrowing and putting up your NFT that is actually worth a little bit more than the ADA that you're receiving. Again, this is being done in order to make sure that if you default on the NFT or you don't pay back your loan, that whoever has actually lent you the ADA is able to recuperate the full value of the liquidity that they initially loaned out. So I know that this can be somewhat confusing, and I'm going to release a full dedicated video breaking this down, but I wanted to touch on that here. And then on the right hand side, we've got an activity feed breaking down all of the latest loans that have been taken out here on this platform. So again, if you hold an NFT, jump on the Levvy website. Maybe there's a little bit of liquidity available for you. And if you strongly believe in something else, or if you need that liquidity for something within the DeFi ecosystem, then you can go ahead and actually leverage that. Do whatever you need to do within 14 days or whatever the loan duration is. Come back, pay your loan, and then get your NFT back. Now, the next thing I wanted to touch on again is going to be surrounding the Sauna, which was just released by the Ape Society. So this team continues to really put their best foot forward, releasing a lot of utility, not only for Ape Society holders, but for the general Cardano community. So it states here the Sauna sale is now opened, and this was on June 21st at 7:30 p.m. UTC. The usage of the Sauna node will begin on June 28th, and the days before this period do not count against your subscription. So this is going to be a pay-to-use subscription for a Cardano node. What this will allow for you to do is submit transactions on chain much faster, given the fact that there's not going to be so many different people using this node. So for example, if you're putting in a transaction during an NFT mint using a Nami wallet, because it's such a widely used wallet by the general Cardano community, you can imagine that a ton of transactions are being processed by whichever node, which I think they might use something like Block Frost, to submit all of their transactions for the Cardano mainnet. But if you've got thousands of people submitting transactions using the same wallet, right? And all those transactions are being routed to the same node, your transaction may not get on chain as fast as somebody else who's using a private node in order to submit their transaction. So to put this into a little bit more perspective, as I mentioned, for example, if you're using something like a light wallet, like Nami or CC Vault, they're going to be routing all of their transactions to a third-party node, which then makes a submit call over to the Cardano mainnet. Whereas something like the Sauna, right, or a full node wallet like the Daedalus wallet actually allows for you to download the entire Cardano blockchain straight to your PC. And then from there, you're able to make a transaction, which is then immediately sent over to the Cardano mainnet. So the Sauna will not exactly be like a full node here where you have to download it to your computer, but it's going to be a private node, which is only available to a few set of members who choose to subscribe to that particular subscription. So a little bit of utility here, and a huge shout out to the Ape Society for continuing to build and provide a lot of utility spanning outside of their original NFT collection. The very last story here that I want to touch on for today's Cardano scoop is going to be a little bit of drama, or FUD as some might call it, surrounding the Chilled Kong's NFT collection. Now, this is considered a blue chip within the Cardano community, and when I came into the Cardano community, I can definitely remember how much hype and how much of a high floor price this particular collection had. When I first came in around last year covering Cardano and Cardano news, I believe the floor price for these NFTs was somewhere around 3,000 ADA per NFT. Since then, we've seen a slow fade of the floor price down to about 300 or 400 ADA, and they've also released an additional NFT collection. Now, this is something that was released by a member here within the community, and it basically talks about the fact that this team has not actually delivered on a lot of things that they've mentioned that they would be delivering on. So it states here that out of the 14 promised deliverables from this team, only 5 of them were delivered. Now, keep in mind that my job here is to basically provide you guys with the news. It's up to you guys to make up your own mind. I'm not here to add to the FUD or take away from it. I'm just here to report on the facts. So what it states here is that they have delivered on their appearance from CNFTCon, as well as an additional mint, as well as some giveaways, merch, and additional giveaways again. Some of the things that they have not delivered on include music events, a free drop for holders, their 3D Kongs, their metaverse spaces, their YouTube streaming platform, an interchain collaboration, in real life events, and a Kong token, as well as some donations to charities. So it does seem like the list of what they have not delivered is a lot lengthier than what they have delivered. But on the heels of this, we did get some key members from the actual Kong community leaving the project. We had some mods, as well as somebody who goes by the name of OC. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's OCCY, who's also left. And then there's now a lot of eyes on the main founder, who I believe is Deckard, as to what he's going to be doing and how he's going to be able to keep the project afloat. So on the heels of that news, we also saw that the actual Chilled Kong's team released an updated roadmap. Now, as a part of this roadmap, we can see that the first step is to provide a roadmap v2, following by an update to make their Discord exclusive. Now, this did rub a lot of the existing community the wrong way, given the fact that they want people to hold the Kong NFTs in order to be able to actually get in their Discord. Now, I think that this is an interesting move, given the fact that a lot of people come into the Discord before purchasing an NFT in order to see what the community is like first. So closing off the Discord, while it might be a move to drive people to purchase the NFT first, I think that it might actually backfire, given that you're now going to have a super closed off community with people that may want to join who are unable to ask legitimate questions because they may not actually have an ape, or a Chilled Kong, before joining the Discord. Now, after that Discord update, they're planning to release a roadmap v3, as well as a Chilled Kong's merch boost, and then they're going to be upping their social media campaign. Now, some members here within the community thought that this was a particularly weak update here, again, given the fact that 2 of these items did touch on updating the roadmap, and that there just wasn't a lot of clarity. And then on top of that, the Discord update didn't really make a lot of sense. So let me know what you guys think down below. If you're a holder of the Chilled Kong's collection, does this make sense to you? How do you feel about the direction that this team is going in. You know, some of the things that I just touched on there before in terms of what they haven't delivered, in the fact that they're releasing a brand new roadmap here without some things being done on their prior roadmap. Now, in closing, I do want to touch on the fact that we have seen some selling as well as some buying by OGs. Again, you can check out their existing collections by heading over to jpeg.store. But right now, as you guys can see, we've got a total of 8,888 of these NFTs with a floor price of 370 ADA, with about 7% currently listed, and over 20 million ADA in trading volume. So again, it's a blue chip collection. And right now, you know, depending on how you look at it, this could be a super cheap opportunity to get in, or this could be a great opportunity to get out, again, depending on how you're looking at it and depending on what the team is going to be doing moving forward. So again, as I mentioned, this was trading at quite a high price. And as we begin to see additional NFTs and a lack of some of their commitment within the actual roadmap, some of the price does seem to have fallen off. But nonetheless, there's still a lot of trading volume taking place over the course of the last week. So again, that is going to do it there for that very last update. Let me know what you guys think. And I believe that that is going to do it for this particular video. Again, we broke down some updates surrounding the community Twitter space taking place for World Mobile, which will be taking place on the 29th of June, as well as their recent announcement surrounding their buyback program and some of its details. And then we jump into some updates surrounding Genius Yield and their testnet, as well as their new NFT utility dashboard. And then we jumped into some updates surrounding the Ape Society, Levvy, and their Sauna custom node. And then we just closed this video out by touching on the Chilled Kongs NFT drama. If you guys found this particular update to be helpful or insightful in any way, shape, or form, I would really appreciate it if you guys could tap that like button. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, consider subscribing. And if you have any questions for me surrounding anything that we broke down in today's video, then please make sure to go ahead and leave a comment down below. That said, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video.